sometimes things don't go the way we plan, and that's okay. Making sure they are relevant. Frankie, my boy. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited to be making this video because we're gonna be making pumpkin bread. I got this from Trader Joe's and it's a 3-step recipe, so there's no way that I can mess this up. And we're gonna be talking about goal setting. Everything I talk about today is gonna be based off my own personal experience, nobody else. Let's get started. What do I gotta do first? You will need 1 package of mix, which I got right here, 2 large eggs. So I have 1 egg right here. Let me grab my other one. And then I got my 2nd egg. And then I got some vegetable oil right here. And then 1 cup of water. Preheat the oven to 350 degrees. Make sure there's nothing in your oven. 350. And then lightly grease the pan with butter or cooking spray. So the cooking spray I have is avocado oil, so I don't want to use that, but I do have butter. I'm gonna use the Kerrygold Pure Irish Butter. And then, okay, now we just gotta combine the ingredients. I hope this comes out good because I cannot walk and drink water. So I hope I can get all my thoughts out while baking this. First things first, ouch. You have probably set goals for yourself at the beginning of the month, at the end of the year for sure, but what happens to them? I have set New Year's resolutions and come the end of January, I lose motivation, I break the promises that I've made to myself, I feel down about myself, I feel bad, and there's nobody to blame but myself. Something that I have learned the hard way multiple times, sitting down and writing out a goal list doesn't mean that you're actually gonna do what it takes to achieve those goals. Boom. Wait, this smells so good. Oh wow, this smells really good. We got our 2 eggs in our mix. What is the next step? 1/2 cup of vegetable oil. And then 1 cup of water. So now I'm gonna mix it. So I already messed up because it said combine eggs, oil, and water in medium bowl and then add the mix. Oops. Oh well. Guys, this smells so good. So now I'm gonna take my butter and I'm gonna grease my pan, and I'm gonna do something really crazy, but don't judge me. This pan has been in my life for 10,000 years because my mom used to make meatloaf in this pan. Guys. Okay, now we're gonna put this spread batter in pan, filling corners. Guys, I'm so excited. Ooh, this is so satisfying. And while this is baking, I'll be able to sit down and really talk to you guys because I feel like I'm getting a little bit distracted and I want to be able to talk to you guys. I'm not gonna lick the whisk. Have you guys ever done that as a kid? Lick the whisk? Only because it's not chocolate. Okay guys, I don't want to turn this, but can you see? Can you see it? So now it's gonna go in here. Okay guys, we have an hour to chit chat before our pumpkin bread, I was about to say banana bread, is done. Guys, you better stop it right now. Look how pretty. Oh, can you even see it? Let's go in there. Look how pretty she looks. I'm so excited. Oh my god, it looks so good. Okay, let me shut this. Okay guys, our bread is done and we're gonna take it out. It smells so good. Wait a minute. Guys, look at how good this looks. I just made a loaf. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I feel so incredibly proud. You guys don't understand. Like, I don't know what I'm doing in this kitchen, but I'm trying. I gotta take a picture of it. try this again, I have our slice of pumpkin bread. I put a little bit more butter on it because why not? And then I have my adorable pumpkin mug. I love this cup so much, and I just filled it with water because it's really late and I didn't want tea, I didn't want milk, I didn't want any of that. This loaf came out so perfectly. I was honestly very shocked. I also cut a middle part because I do not like the edges of anything besides circle pizza. Cheers. I wish you could try this. It's so soft, and the butter that I put on it makes it like extra moist. Let's start this over. What are goals? We all set them, whether it's the beginning of the month, the end of the year, for the beginning of the year, or a weekly goal, a monthly goal. We all set goals. We set goals with the intention of doing them. Sometimes they just fall through, and that could be because our systems fail, we don't have an action plan for them, or they don't mean as much to us as we think they do. For me personally, when I set a goal list, I feel very motivated, I feel very confident, I feel really excited. But what happens when you don't achieve that goal? You kind of fall back into that same loop of setting the goal, maybe following through with it for a couple days, and then it just falls by the wayside. Kind of how New Year's resolution goals are. So it's really important to understand the types of goals that you're setting. And then I feel like once you understand the types of goals that you set for yourself, it will be easier to create an action plan for them. And also another thing that we'll talk about at the end is a little bit of self-reflection, like looking back and seeing what worked, what didn't work. Do you feel like that was too easy? Do you feel like it's too challenging? Like reflecting on the process that it took. So the 3 types of goals that there are, I have them written down right here, and I have them written down with examples, are outcome goals, performance goals, and process goals. So for outcome goals are really focused on the end result of things. And I feel like the reason why my New Year's resolutions have always just fell through, I was inconsistent with them, is because I was so focused on the end result. If you see me looking down, it's because I'm looking at Franklin. It's because we're so focused on the end result. So for instance, I wrote an example here of I'm going to create YouTube videos to reach 1,000 subs. So my end goal is 1,000 subs, and I'm just pumping out YouTube videos. They're probably, maybe my editing wasn't the best. I really didn't put my best foot forward in them. I didn't put much effort in them because my end result goal is the only thing that I'm focusing on. So during that process, I'm probably feeling really stressed out. I probably feel like I can't keep up, or I'm seeking instant gratification. That's another thing that has happened to me a lot in the beginning of my fitness journey, which is why for a good couple weeks I would be consistent and then I would just become inconsistent. I gave another example related to fitness. So I'm going to go to the gym to get abs, to quote unquote be toned. So every single day I'm going into the gym with the intention of working out and hopefully seeing abs at some point in time. That really is just very vague. That is very subjective, which is one of the definitions of goals. Subjective goals, they're vague. You can't really measure it because you can't really measure a time on when you're going to get abs. So achieving that goal is pretty unrealistic because you have nothing to measure. All you're doing is just aimlessly going to the gym with the hopes of reaching your end result, your outcome goal, which is to get abs. And those goals are ones you want to stay away from. You can set goals that have an end result, because isn't that the whole reason why we set goals in the first place? To achieve something. But setting things that are just unrealistic or that are just going to create burnout really just lead to being discouraged, lead to you not feeling confident, and just kind of keep you in that loop of setting goals, not achieving them, setting goals, and just breaking promises that you kept to yourself. And then you have performance goals, which is another type of goal. So I gave my own personal performance goal in this example, which is my own strength goals in the gym. So performance goals are based on things that you can control. So performance goals are goals in relation to one to one's own level of performance or behavior. I'm sure you've heard that quote before where it's you versus you, because performance goals are really under your control. They are based on your own personal performance and you're not comparing yourself to others. Outcome goals, you are measuring your own growth and performance with somebody else's. So that is also the difference between outcome goals and performance goals. Performance goals, you're only focused on yourself, which I really like the idea of these goals, because I feel like with anything in life, it's really just about your performance, the work that you're putting in that no one else can take from you. I would just keep that in mind the next time you're making your goal list. And then lastly, we have process goals. So process goals are focused on helping people reach their performance goals. That is really your action plan. So how will you reach your performance goal? What behaviors are you going to do in order to become a better version of yourself, in order to achieve the goals that you set out for yourself and not fall back into that loop yet again? Let's say you want to cut back on fast food and you are someone that's always on the go, or you leave work late and you know by 7 o'clock you're really hungry, you're on your way home, and you always get, I don't know, a Big Mac. I love a Big Mac. Let's say you always get a Big Mac, but you know when you get home, you're gonna feel tired, you're gonna feel sluggish, you're not gonna be able to sleep because your belly feels full from the Big Mac. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna grab maybe an apple, you're probably gonna grab a granola bar, so you have that, let's say, in your middle console. That is the action you're taking towards cutting back on fast food. How could I forget about my banana bread? Now that I kind of gave the specifics of the types of goals, I want to talk about setting effective goals. When you sit down to make that list, how are we going to make that stick? How are we going to actually achieve those goals that we set out for ourselves? Okay, grab a pen and paper, because let's talk about it. First things first, we are going to be intentional. We are going to be so intentional about becoming the best version of ourselves. Listen to me. As long as you have value attached to your goals, a reason why, and intention behind every action you take, we are going to achieve the goals that we set December 31st or December 1st, or even if you make it November 1st. We are not going to let another list fall by the wayside. We're not. So focus on the task at hand. And my therapist actually helped me a lot with this. So I always explain to her that sometimes I feel like I am up to here with things that I need to do or things that I want to do. And I personally look too far out in the future, and that creates so much anxiety because I have no idea what's going to happen tomorrow. We have no idea what is going to happen January 1st. Don't set 20 unrealistic goals. How about we set 10 realistic ones and focus on those and break those down into bite-sized, manageable pieces so that we set ourselves up for success. So that was my first step. Don't set too many. No unrealistic goals. Okay, so an objective goal, objective is measurable, and objective goal you set for yourself is I want to go to the gym 4 times a week for 1 month. It's measurable and it's specific. Now, if you say you want to go to the gym 4 times a week for 1 month at 4 a.m., now that's a bit unrealistic if you are not a morning person or if you've never gone to the gym at that time. And let's say you're someone that goes to bed at 10 o'clock at night, you have a hard time falling asleep. Before you know it, your alarm is waking you up. In order to have sustainable goals that stick, you need to be realistic with them. You can do anything that your heart desires, but you have to set yourself up for success. So the third tip is, can you measure success? So for instance, I set out a goal for myself in October to do 1 chapter of my course every single day so that I will be done by November 11th, which is when I have to take my test. So it is currently October 30th when I'm making this video, and I'm on chapter 18. I fell off a little bit because things happened, but I still had the momentum built up from sitting down at the table for at least 1 hour to 2 hours, sometimes 4 if I have a day off or something, and doing my chapter. I can't do 24 chapters in 1 week, so I broke it up into manageable short-term goals, which is 1 to 2 hours every day, opening my laptop and doing 1 chapter. So I can measure that success and see how far I've come, and that makes me so proud, and that makes me want to keep going. I'm literally almost done. I also had kind of like a time crunch, because even though I had a month to do it, it's 24 really dense chapters, and I personally cannot sit down for hours and stare at a computer. I personally cannot do that, but I must if I want to take my take my test at the right time. So that is a measurable goal that I set for myself. Okay, so now I'm going to give you a list of things that you can look back on when you are setting your goal list. Be specific. How specific is the goal? Don't set vague, subjective goals that cannot be measured. People want to change for a reason. There is always a reason behind every single behavior, every negative and bad behavior, and every positive and successful behavior. There is always a reason. So ask yourself when you're sitting making your goal list, why? Why do you want to do that thing you just wrote down? Be very specific about the goal that you are writing down. Duration and proximity. So without a time frame, people could always say they're still striving to meet their goal. If you have the same goal that you've had going into November that you made for yourself in January, you probably are being a little complacent and hiding behind the fact that you're still in the process of trying to achieve that goal. That's why it's important to set a duration to measure your success, to kind of self-reflect on what it is that you're doing that's working or what it is exactly that's not working, and kind of adjust from there. How difficult is it? I personally know that if something is way too challenging, I am gonna get very burnt out mentally. I'm gonna have decision fatigue, and I'm just not gonna do it. If something is too easy, then I'm not going to push myself further because I accomplished the goal. And again, it all comes back to being complacent. If something is too easy, you want to feel a little challenged. So also, for instance, let's say you have a certain mile time that you want to hit. You want to run a 9-minute mile instead of an 11-minute mile. So we don't know how long it's going to take for you to be able to run that 9-minute mile, but every day you're faced with a challenge. Every day you're getting a little bit better, and every day you are working towards that 9-minute goal, that 9-minute mile. It gives you something to feel proud of. It gives you something to look forward to, and it gives you a little bit of a challenge, but it's not too difficult and it's not too unattainable, because you're doing a little bit every single day to be able to run that 9-minute mile. What does it mean to you? I can make an entire video on your why. Remembering your why, okay? Let me show you something. This right here, this notebook is my YouTube planning notebook. Is where I plan my ideas, my content ideas, my YouTube titles. Everything is in here, okay? And what do I have right here? It says, oh, let me read it to you. Excuse me. Remember why you started. You know it will pay off, but you must stay consistent. You are special. You are special. There is something in you that is so special, that is in nobody else. You have a purpose that is so special. Oh my gosh, this topic fires me up. You have something that nobody else does, and you have to just believe in yourself and believe that you can change and you need to remember your why. Remember why you started. Of course, I want to hit 1,000 subscribers, but something that is going to be so special when I hit that 1,000 subscribers is all the nights that I've stayed up for the past 2 months at 3 a.m. putting finishing touches on my video, spending 2+ hours on my thumbnails. When I tell you, you have a why, your goal holds a value. You just need to find it. You need to find what it is that you want to change so bad and attach that value to the goal. Franklin, he's making so much noise, he's scaring me. What does it mean to you? How important it is to you? Because if the goal that you set for yourself has a certain level of importance, 9 times out of 10, you're more likely to achieve that goal. And because I know these things now, I can look back and see, oh, that's why it wasn't working. Like, I wanted to get toned, but I also loved McDonald's. I was eating crumble cookies every Saturday. And I remember calling my friend and I asked him, I was like, I want to get toned. I'm just not seeing results. Like, what do I do? He said, how many drinks are you having a week? He said, what did you have for dinner today? I said 6 Oreos and Shake Shack. He said, well, there you go. In the moment, you kind of feel offended. But if you feel offended, you need to reevaluate yourself. It's because it's the truth. Sit with yourself. Take accountability. Take accountability for your actions. Once you take accountability and see why things haven't worked for you in the past, then that's also a step in the right direction. Self-reflection is a big, big deal when it comes to change, because you need to look inward and see what it is that's such a big barrier for you to not be the person that you want to be. Okay, what does it mean to you? Remembering your why. What type of goal is it? Is it subjective or is it objective? Again, objective goals, easily to measure. Subjective goals, vague, not easily measured. Another thing to understand, if it was easy, everyone would do it. If losing weight was easy, everyone would do it. If waking up early and getting decent sleep was easy, everyone would do it. I wish I started this YouTube channel when I was 15, when I wanted to start a YouTube channel, when I felt so lost, when I just needed someone to talk to. It took me 10 years, 10 years, maybe even longer. I was watching YouTube when I was 11 years old. It took being 25, gaining the confidence, realizing no one's coming to save me, realizing that time is ticking. And if there's anything you want to do, you can do it. If you set a goal, you are more than capable of achieving that goal. I wish I saved that speech for the end because we got more to talk about, but let's keep talking. So, short-term goals. Short-term goals, daily or weekly goals. Let's say you have a daily or weekly water intake goal. So, let's say you want to drink 60 to 80 ounces of water a day. How are you going to do that? You're going to fill up and drink 1 Stanley 3 times, right? 2, 4, 6, or 4 times. You know what I mean? You're going to set yourself up to get those 80 ounces of water in. Short-term goals are just doing like little by little each day. So that goes back to like my course. I'm doing a chapter a day or every other day in order to finish my course. And then long-term goals, so monthly and yearly. Let's say, I feel like the easiest example I can give is powerlifting. So adding a couple pounds to, not a couple, a lot of pounds to my total each year. So that is a long-term goal of mine, is to add a few pounds to my powerlifting total. Or let's say I want to gain a few hundred subs by the end of next year. That would be a yearly goal. That doesn't mean that every single week or every single month I'm going to get this amount of subs, because that is very subjective. You can't really measure that. Even if you put so much work in, you don't really know how much subs are going to come from that work. It's all about just staying consistent. So now that we talked about the types of goals, the 2 different definitions to goals, and remembering your why, I hope that my information wasn't all over the place. I remade this video because I really just want to be able to help you, be able to give you a better understanding of
what goals actually are, why we set them, so that when you go to make your 2026 goal list, you have an idea of how to measure them, what they actually are, the action you're going to take to achieve each goal, and just remember to take it day by day. Take it day by day. You are not meant to have everything figured out at a certain age, at a certain time. I think what's so special about any journey is really just the process. I made a video today about going viral, and I said, if you got everything you wanted as far as content creation and you had 1 million subs or 1 million followers overnight, would you even appreciate it? Would you even feel deserving? Would you even know what to do with that? If you got everything that you desired and you wanted at the palm of your hands tomorrow, you wouldn't even know what to do with it because you didn't go through the process of becoming that version of you in order to sustain that life, sustain those goals. Understand that the process makes everything special. It makes everything a bit more challenging, but the person that you become on the outside, on the other side, is just far more rewarding than the actual goal sometimes. Trust the process, trust yourself that you can change. Know that it's uncomfortable, but we're not meant to stay the same forever. You are meant to change. You are meant to outgrow certain things. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe because it means the absolute world to me. 85% of people are not subscribed who watch my videos, and I'm a YouTube girly. I am a consumer at heart when it comes to YouTube. I keep burping, please excuse me. And sometimes the same person that I'm watching will come up on my feed, and then I'll click on their thing and I realize I'm not even subscribed. But because I love their videos or I watch certain ones, they keep coming up on my For You. So don't forget to subscribe. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye.